Okay, so calling the meeting to order at 3:45, regularly scheduled meeting of the Monuments and Ceremonies Commission. And we will start with a roll call, starting at my right. That's you.
Yes, Loren
This
Gomez
right.
here, present.
Terry Gaffney.
Jim Long.
Jim DeMarc.
Nancy Natal.
And on the phone, we have Rob Hulick and Sue Ann Shore. So we do have a quorum.
Okay.
Next on our agenda is review of minutes from our October meeting. Everybody was sent the minutes. Do we have any corrections, additions, omissions, deletions?
I wasn't here on the October.
Everything
meeting,
is good.
Everything looks good.
Okay, so hearing no corrections, deletions, or additions, do I hear a motion
I
to
move.
approve as written?
I move.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are passed unanimously.
I got an aye from my phone too.
Okay. Chairman's report. As noted last month, we are one commissioner short. Because of our stricture to keep a balanced board between Democrats and Republicans, I have only asked the Democratic Town Committee to vet candidates for a new commissioner. I'll ring their bell again because I've not heard back. Additionally, three sitting commissioners who are each Republican are up for reinstatement: Jim DeMarc, Sue Ann Shore, and myself. So we're going to have to remind the RTC as well.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Terry, if
Yes.
you don't hear from the DTC, I do have somebody that's interested, just an FYI.
If they're an independent,
No, they're not.
no, they have to be either an independent or a Democrat.
I
Okay.
know a Democrat that tried to get in before, and David Bain got really annoyed with me because I mentioned it, but she had tried to get in before and was told that wasn't an opening.
Is this
so-
somebody you're friendly with?
Yeah.
Have her contact David again, please.
Okay.
So Terry, Jim, and Nancy are all
No,
up.
and Sue Ann,
Oh, Sue Ann, sorry.
right.
Okay. And
Next,
there's up for re-election
reappointment.
Reappoint.
appointment.
That, you're included in that too.
I am? No, he
No,
didn't say
no.
me.
Just the three of us.
DeMarc, Gaffney, and Sue Ann,
Right.
not me.
Next, Veterans Day ceremony. Veterans Day is this Thursday. Hopefully, our thousands of listening viewers on Channel 79 will be there with their flag in hand on Thursday morning at 10:45. The ceremony will take place at the Veterans Circle right here in front of Town Hall. The VFW Post 6933 will supply an honor guard to raise the flag and then lower it to half staff. Our new first selectman, Mona McNally, will read the Presidential Proclamation, and we do have 8 separate reading parts for individuals who will show up to take part in the ceremony. The ceremony will last approximately 20 minutes, and this is the 103rd anniversary of the signing of the Armistice to end World War I. The holiday originally was called Armistice Day in recognition of the end of World War I. It was changed to Veterans Day in 1954 when a congressman from Kansas noted that the defense of our country was more than what happened in World War I, so now it is known as Veterans Day. 103rd anniversary. Next, Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program. We had our
Wait a minute, what about-
unveiling.
You missed the Cemetery Subcommittee report?
That's all right.
I dropped it down on my.
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
fine,
I was
it's
going
fine.
by the minutes. I should be going by the agenda.
Let's go to
guide.
work,
Right.
actually, no, it's on the agenda this way, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So we had the unveiling of the most recent sign honoring Carmelo A. Rhoda on Sunday at the corner of Herman Avenue and West Avenue. Speaking of World War I, Carmelo was a World War I veteran, received a Purple Heart, was wounded on July 18, 1918. His very large extended family was present, and they were effusive with joy over this honor for their father, grandfather, great-grandfather, uncle, great-uncle.
Wow.
Lucy West, who once again was over the top with what she did, and this time especially since she did a lot of the digging to get the background for Carmelo. So it really was a lovely affair. The Darien Police Department, as always, came in and made sure that safety protocol was in place, and we were blessed with a very warm, sunny day. So it really was a very nice day. And interestingly enough, as we were setting it up, a friend of mine happened to be driving up the block. He lives on that block, and he asked, "What's going on?" I told him, and lo and behold, yesterday morning, I get an application from him for his grandfather and uncle.
Oh, that's
great.
So, the word gets out in strange ways, but some people take immediate action. So for those thousands who are listening to us, the program is set up to honor anyone who has served in combat, who has also served the town of Darien in some function as well. And we are a volunteer organization, so we do not have the staff to do the research.
Nancy, you can't do that. It's an open meeting, the door has to stay open.
Oh, I just was trying to get rid of the
Yeah, I know,
noise.
but you
Okay,
gotta have
I
to-
didn't know that, thank you.
Applications are available online on the town website. They are also available at the First Selectman's office, but we ask those who will consider putting an application in to please be aware the onus is on the applicant to supply us with all the necessary document. It's not enough for you to tell us he served in the Marines in World War II. We need to see his DD 214 form. We need to see his discharge papers. We need to see the documents. So I would encourage anyone who has a relative or friend they would like to include to please put forth an application, but please do not put it in until it is complete. We have made our basis is to not put more than 2 signs per year up. Not to say we will put up 2 signs, but no more than 2 a year. And any signs that we do put up will be put up in conjunction with Memorial Day weekend or Veterans Day week. Lucy made note that 4 of the 5 that we have put out so far are all Italian Americans. And all of them lived on West Avenue.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, now I have the cemetery committee update.
Okay, Rob, are you there? Rob?
I'm here, Jim. Do you want to talk about the first part?
Yeah, sure, I will.
Sure.
John King and I were having a problem finding Weed Cemetery, and Kristen Calvi
Yeah, it is tough.
gave me a call. And as a result of Jed Lawrence talking to David Pollock. So John and I went over there yesterday with Mario, and it's a very unique cemetery.
What's the name of the cemetery?
Weed.
Oh, Weed.
And it's in terrible, terrible shape. And I was astounded because it's bounded by all private homes. But she let us have a right of way. And there was one other gentleman on the other side said he would let us have it right away, and we asked him later on in the day, and he said, I'm sorry, you can't do it for 3 weeks. So I called Kristen this morning. Mario's down there. He'll be there for 2 days, cleaning the place up.
Where is this cemetery located?
It's Landing.
Oh, okay.
It's, 2520 Post Road. It's right to the left of,
Right. I know exactly where that is.
and wow, that's a beautiful place. The Calvi property there
Yeah.
is, and didn't we do a street sign for Calvi just recently? Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
West Avenue.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what's going on there, and Rob is going to jump in and give you the update on the rest of it.
Yeah, so we've got Jonathan Pell from Atlas Preservation, who's going to make a visit to, what I'd like to do is start with him at the River Cemetery, and the Leeds Graveyard, which are two we visited with Reverend Funeral Services a couple months back.
What was the second one, Rob?
The second one was Leeds.
Leeds.
The northwest corner of Hoyt Street, Hoyt Court. Just because I know when we visited the first time with Gilbert, they said there was a lot of stuff in that cemetery that's kind of up the alley of Atlas Preservation kind of being able to fix. So we're going to go there either the 17th or the 19th of November here with Atlas and get a scope of the project for them to start repairing some of those headstones and do some of the gravestone refurbishment work. So more to come on that.
Okay, just in case that was not being picked up adequately by the microphone, that was Rob Hulick in attendance on the phone updating us that Atlas has the ability to repair certain headstones that are cracked or broken, and the first two cemeteries they're going to look at are the Norotan River Cemetery, which is the cemetery on the Post Road adjacent to Giovanni's as you cross from Stamford into Darien. The second cemetery is Leeds Cemetery at the corner of Hoyt Street and Hoyt Court. And that will be toward the end of this month. Anything else on cemeteries?
That's going to be paid for by?
Well, I've been talking to a gentleman that is associated with the Darien Foundation,
Oh, okay.
and after we get the price to do all of them,
You'll consider it.
well, then he's going to help me write out an application in order to get this done. But the premise is, it's a one-time shot. There's no maintenance involved, and we're taking care of the maintenance. So this is a capital expenditure. And he said that, they have a fair amount of money and they're doing this.
All right, so we do have some monies in the till for cemetery maintenance. For them to pay for it, we're going to have to walk them through Jen Charnesky's office for how they actually make the funds out, because it does have to funnel through the town.
Okay. Jen Charnesky?
Yeah,
Is she like a treasurer? Or?
she's Moneybags. She's Ms. Moneybags.
But I mean, is it
She, yeah,
treasurer?
yeah.
How
Okay.
do you spell her name?
2 N's in Jen,
Okay.
Charnesky, Charneski.
Okay.
Oh, I. Okay.
First and foremost, let us figure out the scope of what this is actually going to cost.
Yeah.
From a moral perspective, there's a number of different pockets. There's a number of groups who I think would be interested in doing this. There are, and there's a number of different ways that we could go about financing. Let us get the idea of what it's going to cost first, so that we can be creative.
Great.
About how we can get those funds.
Okay, anything else on cemeteries?
That's it.
Okay, I have one thing to add about cemeteries that I've shared previously with Jim DeMarc. A week ago Sunday, I was delighted when I was walking my dog down the Post Road to see a young man with 2 of his children, sub-teenage children, in the cemetery inspecting all the headstones, and they were amazed at how great the cemetery looked. And it was really heartwarming to see that it really does have an effect on people. So, as I said to him, I quoted two people. One, Alex de Tocqueville, when he made his famous tour of the United States 200 years ago, when he said, "You Americans take better care of your dead than we French do of our living." And although the second quote is typically given to Gladstone, the British Prime Minister from 160 years ago, it's not his quote originally. But now I'm going to lose the quote.
Show me the manner in which the nation cares for its dead. Yeah.
That's it. Show me the manner in which a nation takes care of its dead, and I'll know how they care for their living. Wow. Yeah. So, again, the big kudos on that goes to Sharon Kells, who sadly is no longer with us. She succumbed to cancer a year ago, who got the ball rolling with her money and her sweat equity, along with Tracy Root with her money and sweat equity. So we owe the two of them eternally, and the Daughters of the American Revolution, and Dave and Karen Pollitt in particular, who really took that task on undercover, more or less, and made it happen. So thank you to all of those involved citizens who really got this thing rolling. Next, Darien 2020 Subcommittee update. Speaking of congratulations to people, I know that there were a score of people behind Al Miller, but so that we keep our meeting reasonably in time, I'm going to congratulate Al Miller and his crew for doing a spectacular job. Heritage Day took place 2 weeks ago, Saturday, October 23rd. The weather looked threatening, but it held off.
It did.
So it started with Revolutionary War reenactors setting up camp at the Museum of Darien.
And it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
I took some nice pictures of that. Yeah, it was great.
So it was really great to see all the young kids, the families, the moms and dads who brought all their kids out, interacting with all of these men and women in period costume, showing them the kind of fur that was trapped and used as clothing, the kind of food that was eaten. They actually had a cook pot going.
They did, yeah.
They showed them the tools that were used, the toys that the kids played with back then. They showed them the military hardware that was used, and it was really quite nice. And then, after an hour, everybody segued up the street over to the First Congregational Church to reenact the abduction of the Reverend Mather from the pulpit by the Tories back in 1781, I believe it was. I don't have my notes here for the precise date. I think it was July 28th, but don't swear to it. And one of our new selectmen, John Zagrodzky, did a spectacular job of playing Reverend Mather. I personally enjoyed more the play between the two women. One was Sarah Zagrodzky, I recognized. I didn't recognize the other woman, who represented families who had siblings on both sides, Tory and Rebel alike. And they really did a wonderful job of pointing out just how divided this town and this area was during that period. Similar to what it was probably like in Kentucky and Maryland in the Civil War, where it was literally brother against brother and father against son. And they did a magnificent job of portraying that. The third leg of the Heritage Day took place up at Mather Homestead. I sadly had to miss that because I was at a wedding where, again, the Revolutionary War reenactors put on a show. And then also a demonstration at the battle at Near Waters Lane, the present site of Hindley School, where there was a skirmish between the Tories and the rebels, in which, if I remember correctly, 2 people were killed and quite a few wounded, one of whom scurried off to what is now known as Tory Hole Road. So they did a really good job of bringing history to life.
They did a good book on that called Tory Hall.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a house on Hollow Tree, and it's not really recognizable now, but we looked at it to buy. At the time, it was more in line with preservation. It must have had a lot of problems for the town to allow them to kind of really strip away so much of what had been a historically kept home. But there was like a little report on it, and it said that the house, the family that lived there, and it predated the road, was half, they were on both sides of the Revolutionary, and they had, it had these like little trap doors and hiding places and things in it, and yeah, that was, but that's there.
That's the Pond Weed House?
It's like, is it 73, Alec? I'm not sure.
Earlier, 1600s. Yeah, it's on the corner of Hollow Tree and the Post Road?
No.
Oh, it's another one.
It's actually, it's just, like if you're looking at Avalon, it's just to the left of Avalon. Like it's like a handful of houses over. And it used to be sort of like a sage green. Now I can hardly tell because it looks so modern but at the time, and downstairs, they said they had it has like some kind of tunnel they used to use for the Underground Railroad or something that goes right down.
Wow.
Like right down the hill, like, yeah, it was, but it's interesting that it's there, and it doesn't seem to be particularly distinguished anymore as, but is historically interesting.
Yeah, you know, there are a lot of historic homes in town. I just sold one of them. I just moved out of one of them. But yeah, I mentioned the Pond Weed House, which is on the corner of the Post Road and Hollow Tree.
Yeah.
And that's the oldest house in town.
Is it really?
Yeah, 16 something. And the renovations on it, which are under the guise of the town, began last week. So it'll be interesting, after many years sitting there dilapidated, it's now being worked on.
Does the town own the property?
No,
Oh,
no. But they've got a nice sound out, sign in front says "Follow our progress," poundweedhouse.com.
Oh,
So
really?
if you're interested, you can Google it and take a look.
It's called, hashtag, what is it?
Pondweedhouse.com.
That is really, when we were in the house we were looking at, like, there, we could see, the house had aged quite a bit, and a year or so later, when I was working in Park and Recreation, I was running someone's license plate and for, the permit, the town permit, and I noticed she lived in the house, and I said, "Oh, you bought that house?" And she said, "Yes," because I think whoever it was did not realize how much it requires to take care of a house in that way. That but hopefully it's magnificent and everything.
Old houses are like old dogs and old parents. They require a lot of love and attention.
This is true.
Terry, also the 2020 committee has set the first 3 signs on the Heritage Trail.
Yes. Yeah, they were at the ribbon cutting place, the Darien Heritage Trail markers. The first 3 markers were unveiled on Friday. The first 3 that are up are the signs in front of the Museum of Darien, the former Darien Historical Society, the First Congregational Church, and is the third, I have to look at my notes. I want to say the Mather Homestead, but I want to make sure.
I think that's what, I think it is the
I think it
Rabbit
is.
Homestead.
Yes, the Mather Homestead. So those 3 are up.
5 more to go.
Yeah, 4 more, right? Tilly Pond, still left, near Water Road, where the battle took place at Hindley. 1 in downtown Darien, 1 at Rings End Landing Bridge, and the Norotan River Cemetery. And again, thank you to the Darien Foundation for covering the cost of putting up those signs. Again, this is all private money, not town money. Your tax dollars were not spent. This is all your neighbors putting their shoulder to the wheel and their hand into their pocket. So thank you to those generous neighbors. Next on my list, I have Wreaths Across America. This is not an official function of this committee, I want to point out. Individual members of this commission are involved. Again, this is a nationwide, actually a worldwide effort. The Wreaths Across America Foundation puts wreaths on the headstones and flatstones of veterans in veteran cemeteries all around the world. And here in Darien, we do have the Spring Grove Veteran Cemetery. And again, hats off to Dave Pollitt. Thank you, Dave. Dave was the guy who really got it rolling here in Darien. If I had to guess, I'm going to say about 15 years ago. The last 2 years, thanks to many, many people, most notably Jim DeMark and John King, for going out and really doing a superb job. The last 2 years we've been very fortunate. We were able to get a wreath on every veteran's grave in town last 2 years. Wreaths Across America has a website. It's a little tricky to navigate, but if you go in to the website, you want to find Spring Grove Cemetery in Darien, not Spring Grove Cemetery in Ohio. It's easier it's actually the easiest way is in the drop-down menu to find a location and plug in 06820 and it should guide you there. There are several organizations that are also involved raising funds. Cub Scout Packs 55 and 56, thank you. The Water Rats, which are the parents of the swim team, the Middlesex swim team, thank you. The Darien VFW Post 6933, thank you. The Republican Town Committee, Jim DeMark and John King, thank you. And I'm missing one. But you know who you are, thank you.
Is it hockey? Is the hockey?
The hockey, thank you, yes, the hockey parents.
What time on the 18th?
So the actual, you can contribute up until November 30th is the deadline for contributions. The wreaths are $15 each. There are options if you so choose to have wreaths delivered to your home. There are also options to have wreaths dedicated to specific servicemen, though the organization cannot verify they will place those wreaths at any specific gravesite. The ceremony, the wreath-laying ceremony will take place on Saturday, December 18th. Shape-up time for those who want to come and help us lay out the wreaths will be at 11 a.m. The actual dedication ceremony will take place at 12 noon. There is a brief tour of the cemetery that will take place shortly before noon. That's a tour that I run. I basically aim the tour at the next generation of people so that the children understand what it's all about. So I would encourage mom and dads of young children to bring your children. It's a fun day, and come join us. Saturday, December 18th, 11 a.m.
Terry, if I may just mention the fact that John Bartlett, Jim Long, and Tracy Mara have agreed to expand what we're trying to do in terms of raising money. And I just wanted to let everybody know that.
Okay, thank you. And if the website is too confusing, you can call into Town Hall. Karen Dunn and Linda O'Leary, the two executive secretaries in town, know how to get in touch with us, and we'll get back to you with any and all information you might need. Before I ask about any new business, I just want to remind all those thousands of people who tuned in late that Thursday is Veterans Day. Our ceremony will take place here in front of Town Halls, starting at 10:45 Thursday morning, and we encourage everyone to show up. Next, I have a call for any new business.
Can you send me some information on Kensett?
Yes.
Thank you. I've got the pictures, and every time I try to find something, I get thrown over to the Kensett developments, and that's not what I want.
All right. Nancy is asking about information. We have, if I remember my count correctly, about 39 monuments in town.
Oh,
And
okay.
the Kensett Memorial, John Kensett was a renowned painter in the late 19th century of the Hudson River School. And there is a monument dedicated to him.
It's really a beautiful monument.
Yeah. It's down along the, where he died.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There is a ford there. There's no road there,
No,
but there's
there
a
isn't,
ford
yeah.
that goes from Runkinghenge Road across to the Spit.
Right.
And he actually died there. He and one of his best friends, if not his best friend, the two of them owned Contentment Island.
Oh, okay.
And his friend's wife's carriage overturned in the ford. And he went into the water and rescued her, but he contracted pneumonia and died as a result.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah. Yeah, one of,
It was cute. There were two little boys fishing there when I took the pictures. I didn't get them in the picture, but
it's a good place for stripers this time of year.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to go, I had a good friend who lived down in Contentment Island, and they used to catch lobsters there. Huge lobsters.
Really?
It was, yes. I told her father, he goes, we're coming right down. Oh.
What you're talking about when you come in Contentment Island, as you go further out on the right-hand side, there's lots of water, and there is on the other side as well, but where is it?
It's right where, if the road that goes out to Contentment and the
Yeah.
one that goes down to the Tokenie Club,
Okay.
and it's where that little circular area is, it's right there on the cove or whatever
Okay.
you call
You know when
that.
you cross
And
the
there's a
bridge?
walkway.
Yes, yes.
Before, instead of making a left-hand turn to
Uh-huh.
go down to Tokenique, just
Yes,
go straight.
it's like
And then
right there.
And
It's
the
a
road
huge
bends
rock,
left.
it's a huge rock,
Okay.
huge
Yeah.
rock with a nice plaque on it,
You know,
it's
there's
really
a
nice.
park there as well,
Oh, I
in
didn't know that.
Contentment Island.
Huh,
I mean, I was astounded. Evidently, the residents on the other side of the road have donated this huge piece of property. My youngest guy was out there, took a place out there last summer, and I was out there, it was amazing.
You sure it's a park?
All I know is that it's empty, and there's grass, and there's a couple of,
Yeah,
Could
because
be
we don't
private.
want to be sending people down there if
No,
it's not a
it
park.
could be private.
it could be private, because a lot of those roads back there are.
Yeah, a lot of those roads are
It was
Yeah,
interesting
let me
because
just
there were
look on
some
the map.
people walking, and I asked them if they knew where it was. They didn't even know what it was. They kept referring me to the Kensett development. I said, no, that is not what I want.
that's a great place to walk.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. And the kids had their fishing poles, and it was very Norman Rockwell.
That's great, that's great.
Yeah, I'm not showing anything there as parkland.
Okay, so I guess it's private, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't get arrested for trespassing, so I guess you made it.
No, I used to spend a lot of time out there with my son's dog, you know?
Okay, any new business before the commission? Do I hear a motion for a Carabillo?
Carabillo.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
I
Okay, thank you, everybody. Meeting is adjourned at 4:20. Thank you, everyone.